Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to Robert Sports Show. From the independent scene to the main event of WrestleMania. GCW No Signal in the Hills 4. This happened this past Saturday night. On Sunday was Save Me. I will get that watch and get that review probably tomorrow, if I had to predict. Alright, so No Signal in the Hills from the Guerrero Cultural Center there in Los Angeles, California. Kind of a second home to GCW. First match, we had Broski Jimmy taking on Mr. Danger. This match started with Broski Jimmy taking it to Mr. Danger, having the Matt Cardona coming out, talking about the shows and him being on, making his return at Homecoming, and then Broski Jimmy kind of being his lackey and him attacking Mr. Danger for the match starts. So Mr. Danger did this big time dive from the ring to the outside on the Broski Jimmy. He ended up kind of getting to Matt Cardona before Matt Cardona got to him, knocking Matt Cardona into the chairs. Did a backwards moonsault on the Broski Jimmy as well. Just kind of like bam bam, some big moves there. But the power of Broski Jimmy ended up getting Mr. Danger in the end. 4 minutes and 34 seconds. Because of those two big moves, I ended up giving it 2 3/4 star with Broski Jimmy getting the victory. Next up, we had a couple of top rope high risk guys. We had Sidney Akeem, formerly known as Reggie, and Scripps from WWE NXT, taking on Impact TNA's Rich Swann. Two top rope high risk wrestlers who literally that's what they did. 9 minutes of just dives. They took each other to the outside a couple times. Overall, just an amazing match to watch. The athletic ability of both of these guys. I ended up giving it 3.5 with Sidney Akeem staying undefeated in GCW. Next up, we had two completely different styles of teams. We had Vipress and Dark Sheik taking on CPF. Danny Black and Joe Lando from the UK. The CPF is actually the initials of the guys. It also stands for Close Personal Friends. But some of the guys that are part of the CPF are Colin Newman, Danny Black, Joe Lando, Maverick Mayhew, and they're more from Europe than anywhere, the UK area. So Close Personal Friends. This match was unique, to say the least. It was good, don't get me wrong, but just the two different styles. So you had kind of Dark Sheik and Vipress, who were kind of more the mat wrestling, the catch-as-cat stand style, and then CPF got more of the high risk maneuvers. But the ladies were able to get the victory. Dark Sheik and Vipress in 10 minutes. I ended up giving it a 3-star. Next up, we had Chavo Guerrero Jr. teaming up with Los Macizos, Ciclope, and Miedo Extremo, taking on Los Desperados, Arez, Gringo, Loco, and Jack Cartwheel. So we had three guys, Arez, Gringo, Loco, Jack Cartwheel, all about the high-risk maneuvers, dives off the top rope. We had Chavo Guerrero. We know what the Guerreros are all about, doing the suplexes and the Three Amigos, which Chavo ended up hitting. We got Los Macizos. They're all about fighting, straight up fighting. So we meshed those styles together. 14 minutes. The Three Amigos was kind of cool because everybody kind of got behind it. Kind of that whole Eddie Guerrero, that whole Guerrero family tribute to Eddie. You see a lot of people doing. They were able to get the victory there. Ended up giving it 3.5. Next up, we had one called Manders taking on Jordan Cruz. Just two big old hosses just having a fight. Pretty good match, actually, these two guys. 9 minutes, 9.5 minutes, 3-star match with one called Manders getting the victory. Starboy Charlie taking on Marcus Mathers. These two guys actually fought more. I was expecting more of the kind of catch-as-catch can, kind of striking, kind of off the top rope with Marcus Mathers, more. But we got more of a brawl into the crowd, fighting into the chairs, throwing each other into the chairs. And if you've seen the chairs here at the Gringo Cultural Center, they're not your normal folding chairs. They're like, kitchen chairs almost. And so when you throw people into them, they don't fold. They just move, and they don't move sometimes because they're tied together. So yeah, they're just throwing people into the chairs and moving the chairs around everywhere. 3.5-star match between these two guys. Starboy Charlie getting the victory. Next up, we had Megan Bayne and Blake Christian. Blake Christian is still angry that he was stripped of the GCW World Title. He does have the ladder match with Joey Janela and Mance Warner at Homecoming, but he still has possession of the title. He comes out against Joey Janela's friend, tag team partner, and Megan Bayne. Blake Christian put together a door bridge, put Megan Bayne through it. The two of them fought all over the ringside area as well. 3.25 star with Blake Christian getting the victory there. Then we had the GCW tag titles on the line. We had champions Violence is Forever, Dominic, Garrini, and Kevin Koo take on the Wolf, Zaddies, Bad Dude Tito, and Sheik, Cabrera. These two just put on a pretty good match. It wasn't anything spectacular. It was 8 minutes 55 seconds. I gave it 3-star, just a steady, good, just entertaining wrestling match with Violence is Forever retaining their tag titles. So with Mance Warner and being in cahoots with Matt Cardona, the general manager of GCW, Matt Cardona says he's going to get some enhanced regional talent or enhanced local talent to face Mance Warner. Then enhanced local talent was the one and only Rob Shit. He ain't just enhanced talent. He's a hell of a wrestler, hell of a fighter. But before this match could really get underway, ended up being officially 347. And then a no contest because Mance Warner took Rob Shit out with a screwdriver to the head. And then the referee ended up escorting Rob Shit out. Then we had the music hit. TNA original Frankie Kazarian show up. How many times have you ever, I'm going to say one, seen a guy in a calendar year be a part of TNA, NXT, GCW, I believe, no, he was part of AAA. Okay, he was AEW last year. Okay, when was his last his last AEW match was last year, first part of last year. Okay. So yeah, Frankie Kazarian, just in this calendar year, TNA, NXT, GCW. You don't see that. And that is absolutely amazing what is going on in professional. No, he was part of the Jericho Cruise for AEW the first part of the year. So yeah, I mean, he's wrestled for TNA this year, the Jericho Cruise there for AEW, for TNA, for EWF, IWA out of Canada, and then NXT. So yeah, GCW, yeah. So he's been almost all the big promotions. It's absolutely crazy. He took it to Manser. I was shocked that we saw doors and bridges and Kaz hit a fade to black. Referee gets pulled out. We had multiple doors. We had Manser spear Kaz into a door and the door didn't break. But then the door ended up breaking. You end up having Kaz hit fade to black on the table, on the door. And then you had the referee getting knocked out. You just had Kaz doing GCW stuff with the GCW championship on the line. Then after a couple of fade to blacks, after Broski Jimmy getting involved, and the end of the day, you had Mance Warner get the victory. 19 minutes and 53 seconds of this. I give a 3 3/4 star. Mance Warner retains his GCW World Title. But Frankie Kazarian took it to him, and there were times in this match you thought Frankie Kazarian was going to be in that GCW ladder match for the title. It's great seeing Frankie Kazarian in GCW. It's great to see what he's done this year. This match was absolutely crazy. Match of the night, 3 3/4. That actually may be one of the top 25 matches of 2024 for GCW. So that is GCW No Signal in the Hills 4. So I've reviewed every GCW show over the last 2 years. Because Rubber Sports Show, from the independent scene to the main event of WrestleMania. As always, don't just have a great night. Have a spiffy night. Rubber Sports Show, your YouTube leader. Sports channel content.